Hello guys, and welcome to a new reading vlog. And yes, this is the reading vlog where I read all of the books that I got to purchase because a very lovely viewer was gracious and generous enough to gift me an Amazon gift card so that I could buy myself books and snacks. So thank you very much, T. This is all because of you, and I had an absolute ball picking the things to read and try today. So I thought before I show you the books that I purchased, I will try the snacks because I can't wait. I can't wait any longer. Yes, this is breakfast time, but I'm gonna eat the snacks first. So let's see what they're like. Okay, so I managed to find two things. It took forever. It took forever for me to find food that would ship from America to Australia because of our very stringent laws regarding food being imported. So the ones that I managed to find were these Terra real vegetable chips, sweet potato with sea salt. So I'm going to try these first. Let's try them first. Oh, using muscles I don't got broke. Ah, there we go. All right, let's try it out. Let's try it out. So what does it look like? Well, no, that's a curved one. I'm not a big fan of the wish chips. I like the flat ones. So that is what it's like. Ready? That's really good. That is really good. It can't just be potato chips and salt. Oh, it is. Okay. Look, man, these are probably the best sweet potato chips I've ever had. Yep. That's good. Oh, that's good. Why do we not have these in Australia? I've tried so many Australian sweet potato chips. None of them hit like this. All right. Ooh, I would give this a, it's a 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10 for these chipperoonies. That's delicious. God damn. Ooh. Okay, so I thought I got something salty. I'll try something sweet. So I got these nut butter stuffed sandwich cookies with cocoa and cashew butter. So we'll see what this is like. Yum, 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 yum. Yum, 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 yum. I guess these are a healthier version because they look like they're like gluten-free and dairy-free, you know? All right, it comes in a little tray. Ooh, ooh, ooh. So this is what it looks like. Sort of like Oreo-ish, I guess. All right, let's try it. That was really interesting. I almost got a coffee flavor from it. There's this hint of bitterness there, which I'm assuming must come from the cocoa. It's very like, oh, what's the word? It's like I've got a very crisp crunch to the cookie part, and then it dissolves to the nut butter. I would have liked more nut butter in there. Like I like a real, if I buy Oreos, I get the double stuffed. Yeah, I'm all about the filling. I like it thick. Oh, I do like that. I think these would taste extra better dunked in tea. What am I going to give it? I'm going to give these a 7. A 7 out of 10. They're not very sweet, which I don't mind. But if you like a sweet cookie, probably not these ones. What is it sweetened with? Is there no sweetener in there? Oh, coconut sugar. Coconut sugar. Okay, no, I can taste the coconut sugar now that I've said that. That's all I had like back in my vegan days. Nothing artificial ever. For a healthy cookie, really good. But because I eat trash cookies, you know, the ones that aren't good for you, I'm obviously comparing it to them. That's why it's a 7.5. But if this was, if I was just comparing it to healthy cookies I've had, these would be the best ones. I don't think I've had a clean ingredients cookie that tastes as good as this one. That was really good, man. Both of these, bomb.com. Like, I'm very satisfied. I've got snacks now, which I'm very much looking forward to coming home and eating. But, I have to finish this vlog when I return, so you're not going to see the books yet. If I've got cookies all in my teeth, I'm very sorry. But I've got to hurry. I've got to dash. So I will show you all the books that I purchased and that I read for this vlog when I return. I've got to quickly take my tween to the shops, this is the day that Microsoft glitch happened. So I don't know how many stores are going to be able to actually allow us to purchase something from them today. Even though I have cash, I always carry cash, man, because you never know with this digital stuff, like banks go down, you can't buy groceries, oh my God. But I heard that even though if you have cash, because they need to have it in their system, you can't purchase. So we'll see. Fingers crossed, there are some places that have managed to, you know, do the manual reboot thingy and online and up and running. So we've got to do that. But when I get back, I will tell you about the books. But I'm so happy that I finally got to eat the food. You have no idea how long they have been sitting there, and I have just been eyeballing them. And I'm so happy that they both slapped, because I would have been disappointed if they didn't. But I'll see you guys when I get back from the shops to tell you about all those books. Okay, we're back. It was very successful. I bought myself some little Diamante hair clips, and for Indy, we went to this very cool stationery store, and I got her this capybara with a little ducky on top. It's so cute, but to cheer her up. So that was pretty successful. We got everything she needed. And now let's talk about the books that I was able to buy and read thanks to my lovely viewer. So we're going to start with this tiniest one. So my aim was to try and get as many as I could, the biggest bang for the gentleman's buck, and except for one that I really wanted, because yeah, I had to buy these all from Amazon.com and then get them shipped all the way here. But the first one that I got was The Orange and Other Poems by Wendy Cope. So it is so tiny. I think this is the tiniest book I've ever read. It's only, how many pages? Like 34 pages. And it's just a little book of poetry. Some of the poems are really itty bitty. I'll show you. The first one, well, the first one's called Valentine. So off to a great start. My favorite ones, I'll let you know what they are. One of them is The Orange. So it's the titular poem. And I'll read it because everyone keeps talking about it. But none of the people I watched who talked about the poem, The Orange, actually read the poem out loud. So I'll let you know what it is. What? Yeah, she's very cute, baby. I'm filming. At lunchtime, I bought a huge orange. The size of it made us all laugh. I peeled it and shared it with Robert and Dave. They got quarters and I had a half. And that orange, it made me so happy, as ordinary things often do. Just lately, the shopping, a walk in the park. This is peace and contentment. It's new. The rest of the day was quite easy. I did all the jobs on my list and enjoyed them and had some time over. I love you. I'm glad I exist. So that's a very cute, sweet one. Like I said, some of them are very small. So this is the fastest read. I would say another poem that I liked was Names. And it just talks about when you come into the world, you have a name that people call you. And then they might call you things like wife, mum, beloved, nana, all of the little nicknames. But then at the end, when you find yourself in a nursing home, you're once again given your sort of birth Christian name at the end. It was just very sweet the way she wrote it. I also liked Absent Friends. That one made me melancholic. And then Being Boring speaks to my soul, basically. I don't go to parties. Well, what are they for? If you don't need to find a new lover. You drink and you listen and drink a bit more. And you take the next day to recover. Someone to stay home with was all my desire. And now that I've found a safe mooring, I've just one ambition in life. I aspire to go on and on being boring. So this was really pleasant. I liked it. It wasn't life-changing, but I had a nice time reading these poems. So then we have Beautiful Darkness by Fabienne Velleman and Kedeskoe. Wow, okay. Yes, so this is a book about fairy tale creatures that crawl out of a little dead girl's decomposing mouth in the middle of the forest and basically descend into a nightmarish Lord of the Flies situation / horror fest. This is incredibly disturbing. I'm going to show you the illustrations. The illustrations are lovely. It was very, very well done. But this is so dark, guys. I was like, oh no. Yeah. I feel like maybe, I thought if it was in cute picture form, I could stomach really intense horror, but no, it makes it so much worse. It makes the violence so much worse. So this was so full on. I guess you would say it's beautifully dark, and gruesome. It was interesting, but my God, I'll show you some nicer, happier pictures at the end. Yeah, if you are into horror, fairy tales, and graphic novels, this is for you. It was just, what gruesome corner are we going to turn next with these characters? Holy crap. But yeah, very interesting, riveting read. But I did have to immediately pick something else up after reading this. So here we have The Book of Mother by Violaine Huisman. Sorry, the butchering of names is probably extreme. This is, I guess, autofiction is what you would call it. It's part memoir, part fiction. And reading this was really like taking a very painful walk down the memory lane of my childhood. If you, I guess, have any trigger warnings for parental abuse, don't read this, but this is about her mother, who she believes, had bipolar disorder. It's always fascinating to me that so many human beings can have very similar life experiences in their life. So this was very harrowing for me to read. I've done a lot of work in making peace with my childhood and finding forgiveness and things like that, but yeah, to be sort of reminded of situations I was into was a hard pill to swallow. You know, this is very traumatically bittersweet, because even though there is abuse, there is still love in its forms, and it's complex, it's complicated. The first part I felt was the strongest. There was a middle part. The first part was about her childhood with her mother, and then the middle part was sort of fictionalized imagining of what she thought her mother's life may have been like and what it was like to be her. And then the last part is dealing with the death of her mother. So very heavy, obviously, with family relationships and grief and trauma and more of the heavier human experiences one can have as a child, and then still navigating the complexities of that as an adult. I thought it was very well written, though. I do think it maybe didn't need that middle bit about what her mother's life might have been like. I think maybe she was just trying to soften it by allowing you to perhaps walk in her shoes. So there's a lot of this is to do with the cycles of family abuse that are intergenerational, and how some choose to perpetuate it, and then some, like the author and myself, choose to be cycle breakers and make sure that it stops with us and that harm isn't continued on down the line. So yeah, this is full on. But I think the cover is also stunning. It's very eye-catching, and it was well written. French translation, I believe. So I've had nothing but successes with French translations, but yeah, this is sort of part memoir, part fiction. And then the next book I picked up, I went straight onto a memoir that mostly focuses on grief. So here we've got Hereafter, a memoir by Amy Lynn, and this is phenomenal. I don't rate anything that's sort of memoir related. I just find it's very hard to rate these things, but oh man, the way this hit me like a ton of bricks. I was crying throughout the entire book. It's very easy to read because it's written in a way that's just very easy to digest, and she stays quite neutral with her writing. So even though she's talking about something that has a lot of emotional depth, like I said, the writing is easy to read, but it's still emotional because of the subject matter. So basically this woman, her husband passed away suddenly while they were very young, in their early 30s. This happened during the 2020 COVID pandemic, so that is also a background setting of this book. And then literally days later, while she was still in her grief, still even just making funeral arrangements, she's diagnosed with serious health conditions that require surgeries and treatment, and she's just trying to process and deal with everything. And man, my heart broke. I was just sobbing at so many points in this book. She just sums up the everyday, seemingly benign moments that just trigger grief really well. It's very relatable. Oh, there's this one bit, I'll read you this one bit. I just flip to it then. When she was in hospital and they're like trying to tell her, you need to do this life-saving surgery, and part of her's like, why bother? And she says, it has only been 10 days, I think. If I go now, I can still find him. He might even be waiting for me. And oh man, you know, like, I cried so much. There are so many parts in here that just, my heart broke. I'm not a widow. And I can only imagine the pain of losing possibly the person that you love the most in the world just so suddenly, and then having your own mortality also dangling precariously by a thread at the same time. But this looks at the course over the years too of her with the grief as time moves on, but also she frequently reminisces about times she had with her husband from the past. So the love is so, I'm just trying not to cry. The love is so apparent in this book that she had for this person. And I just thought it was really well done. And yeah, I don't want to say I loved it, but you know, it's a book of her pain, but I think she just wrote about it really well so that you really feel what she was feeling and what she was experiencing and what it's like for her, because I think it's sometimes very hard to explain grief, and like I said, the seemingly benign things that can set it off just like that. But yeah, stunning memoir. And then the final book that I got, this is the one I spent the most money on. This is The Bound Worlds by Megan O'Keefe. This is the final installment in the Devoured Worlds trilogy. The book cover is very matte. It's got that rough finish, but guys, like, we don't really have floppy books here in Australia. I don't know why they don't do the flop. This is like one of the things in my life that brings me joy. Floppy books. It's the only time you don't want it to be stiff. And that's that was cheeky, but you know what I mean. I'm down with the flop in this case. And this one was, I think, a good way to finish the series. I was surprised though that in this series you've got the parasitic sci-fi element where you've got this very intelligent lichen, moss, whatever it was, and that they're trying to stop its spread. It's called Canis. And I'm surprised that the Canis, which so far has been like the big bad thing they need to stop, was kind of brushed aside in this one. I felt like it was given a back seat, and out of nowhere we had this situation with the future and expansion. I'm not going to delve into it, obviously. That was now the big urgent issue. So I was like, what's going on? It was a bit discombobulating, I will admit, because you also are jumping back from present to future. And so I find anything that involves like future timelines and situations, I do find it confusing. And it gives me a bit of a like brain workout to try and understand what's going on. But I think most of all, this was really a love story between Tarkin and Naira. Like, that's really what it felt like. I'm not mad about it because I freaking love those two. So even though they're already an established couple, clearly there are things keeping them apart and obstacles and challenges along the way. It does get wrapped up, kind of. There's this sort of like temporary fix for one of the issues, and I'm like, I don't think you should be taking your eye off that. It's like, I think that's still going to come back to bite you in the ass at some point. But some other parts do get resolved. In this book too, they're just trying to make sure that Tarkin doesn't turn into a Darth Vader kind of situation. I'm just like, So he's still my cinnamon roll. I don't even care if he did walk the dark path for his reasons. I would still be backing him. Like, I get it, bro. I get it. But I liked it. It was 500, I think, pages. There's a bit in the back, an extra, which is really cool. So this is, if you enjoy The Bound Worlds, look out for the new space opera novel. So I might read that and then let you know, what's this one? And tell you what I think of this extra bit. So there's like quite a decent amount of pages in here. So I'll read that and tack it on at the end. But I've given this one a 4.25 stars. There was some things that I was like, okay. And like I said, the urgency of the threats were kind of moved around, shuffled around a bit. I will say that Fletcher, whom I previously hated with every bone in my body, maybe I don't so much anymore for particular reasons that I will not get into. But even though I said this is a love story, there's not a lot of like romance, okay? There's no spice in this one, but I still feel like this series was a bit of a love story between Tarquin and Naira. That's the main thing that it was. But it's an overall, I think I gave the first one 5 stars. The Fractured Dark was a 4.25 and this one was a 4.25. So I'm going to say that the series overall is a 4.5 for me. So still a really excellent sci-fi, parasite / body printing, time traveling series. I'm going to read the last little bit and then come back to you. Indiana. Dude.
Why can't I straighten my hair if it's inside?
Do what you want, babes. You want to just do your hair now? Do your hair now.
Okay, I'll need you to straighten though. Yippee. Not now though.
Okay.
But I need to wrap, actually. Yeah, let's wrap the gifts now.
Let's you do the wrapping.
No.
Yes, let's.
No.
You do the wrapping after your shower. I bought the gifts. Neither do I.
I was going to do the bigger curl thingy, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you actually need like curly hair for that.
Okay.
My hair's not curly enough.
Alrighty then.
Yeah. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. So I read, there's 2 of them. I read her new space opera novel, which says a ragtag crew of space pirates take one last job traveling to the wreckage of an alien civilization and uncover a conspiracy bigger than all of them could have imagined. It didn't really do anything for me. There were 2 chapters in there and I'm like, eh. And then we've got These Burning Stars, the Kingdom Trilogy, Book 1 by Bethany Jacobs. So this is somebody else. This says, on a dusty backwater planet, occasional thief Jun Ironway has gotten her hands on the score of a lifetime, a secret that could raise the kingdom, the ruling power of the galaxy. A star system away, preternaturally stoic Chono and brilliant hothead Essek, the 2 most brutal clerics of the kingdom, are tasked with hunting Jun down, and tracking all 3 across the stars is a ghost from their shared past known only as Six. But what Six wants is anyone's guess. It's a game of manipulation and a betrayal that could destroy them all, and they have no choice but to see it through. In the first chapter, they definitely set up Essek as an absolute bitch. It's interesting. I didn't love it, but I might go check it out on the Goodreads. But let me recap all the books from this vlog. So this was actually a ton of books that I enjoyed. Even the most horrific one, Beautiful Darkness by Fabienne Velleman and Keteskoe. It's just not my genre, but this is well done for what it is. And I think that some of these images will be seared in my brain for the rest of my life. But this was one of the books I read. And then I read The Orange by Wendy Cope, which is a book of poems. The Book of Mother by Violaine Huisman, which is an autofiction about this woman's mother and her childhood and her life, and also her mother's death. Then we had this heartbreaking book, Hereafter, a memoir by Amy Lynn. And last but not least, we have The Bound Worlds by Megan O'Keefe, which I rated 4.25 stars. So most of these books I didn't rate. I just realized that now. This is the only one I actually rated, but they were all really good. So thank you very much, T, for gifting these books and those yummy snacks to me. I will be curling up on the couch and having myself a feast. But until next time, stay wild, Star Child.